the Explorer. That's the one we're going to be using throughout this course. We're just using the Explorer. But also there's the Experimenter for performance comparisons, large-scale performance comparisons for different machine learning methods on different data sets. There's a knowledge flow interface, which is a graphical interface to the WEKA tools, and there's a command line interface. But we're just going to use the Explorer, so let's get on with it. Here's the Explorer, and across the top there are 5 panels: the pre-process panel, the classify panel. These are actually grayed out because I haven't opened a file yet. There's the classify panel, where you build classifiers for data sets. Clustering, another procedure that WEKA is good at, although we won't be talking about clustering in this course. Association rules, attribute selection, and visualization. In this course we're going to be using mainly the pre-process panel to open files and so on, the classify panel to experiment with classifiers, and the visualize panel to visualize our data sets. So I'm going to open a data set. The data set I'm going to open is called the weather data. It's a little toy data set that we'll be seeing a lot of in this course. It's about 14 instances, 14 days. And for each of these days we've got recorded the values of 5 attributes. 4 to do with the weather: outlook, temperature, humidity, windy. And the 5th play is whether or not we're going to play a particular unspecified game. So actually what we're going to be doing is predicting the play attribute from the other attributes, but let's not worry about that at the moment. Let's just open the data set and take a look at it in WEKA. So here's my documents. Here's the WEKA data sets. This is what I copied. And I'm going to open weather.nominal.arf. All WEKA data files are called ARF files. We'll talk about that later on. So this is the weather data. And just ignore these colorful bars down here at the moment. There are 14 instances. Those correspond to the 14 days that we saw in the data set on the slide. And for each day we've got 5 attributes: outlook, temperature, humidity, windy, and play. So if we select one of these attributes, outlook is selected at the moment, we can see the values. The values for the outlook attribute were sunny, overcast, and rainy. And these are the number of times they appear in the data set: 5 sunny days, 4 overcast days, 5 rainy days, for a total of 14 days, 14 instances. If we look at the temperature attribute, we've got hot, mild, and cool are the possible values, and these are the number of times they appear in the data set. Let's go to the play attribute. There are 2 values for play: yes or no. And now let's look at these 2 bars here. Blue corresponds to yes, and red corresponds to no. And if you look at one of the other attributes, like outlook, you can see that when the outlook is sunny, this is like a histogram, there are 3 no instances and 2 yes instances. When the outlook is overcast, there are 4 yes instances and 0 no instances. So these are like a kind of histogram of the attribute values in terms of the attribute we're trying to predict. It makes it kind of useful to click around and visualize your data. So we've opened the weather data, weather.nominal.arf, and we've looked at the attribute values and the attributes in WEKA. One more thing I want to do before we summarize here, I want to go to the edit panel. If I go to edit panel, I see the data in the form that it was on the slide, with the 14 days down here and the 5 attributes across here. So this is another kind of view of the data. And I can actually change this data set. So if I click here, I can change this no to yes. Or if I click here, I can change on this day the outlook from rainy to sunny. If only it were so easy in real life to change a day from rainy to sunny. And then I can click OK, and now we've got this edited data set, which we could save if we like. We haven't saved any of this. The data set on the disk is still the same as it was. I'm not going to save it, and I don't think you should save it, because we're going to be using this data set quite a bit in this course. Okay, so this is what we've done in this lesson. We've installed WEKA.